Good morning. It is a crisp morning. We've had a lot of weather. it's so weird. We had a lot of weather. It means like the weather is not the way that I like the weather to be. Anyway, I'm at Kieper Gorge. Today I'm about to start a run. Starting to rain happening. Got my pack. I got it heavier than I've been running with lately. The reason I'm out here this morning is part of the MyKieper run, but the extended version. And what I've got these goals for the year. I've got like 3 goals, and obviously they involve running of some sort. They involve some evolution of the person that I am. And as I've reached 50 years old, like I've been asking a lot of questions just about like life, about me, and like where I've come, and I've set some goals up for myself at the end of last year. I said these are things that in 2026 I want to achieve, and one of those things is centered around running. One of those things is centered around about how I earn money, my finances, and one of those things are centered around vanity, how I look. But they all kind of tie into, I think, the broader conversation about, are goals important? Should we have goals? And if we should, like, what kind of goals should we have? And here's my theory about it. But I'm going to tell you a little bit more as I go on a run. But it's just, I think it's important, and I also think it's not important. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let's go for a run. I don't know if we should give ourselves a few minutes to let the rain decide if it's going to be here or not. Anyway. Right. Let's go for a run. Hey everyone, welcome to my 2-part video series on the goals that I've set myself for 2026. Now, I know that it's late in the year to be talking about goals, but that's exactly why I'm talking about goals. Because I think that, a lot of people are probably like me, or have set goals for themselves, and then it gets sort of into the year after the first 3 months, and then you kind of forget about those goals that you set, and you get stuck into the realities of life and the rhythm of everyday chores. So then I thought, well, let me talk about the goals. Let me talk about my goals and what I'm doing to try and get there. Again, for me, goal setting is an important part of life, but it doesn't mean that it takes over your life. And achieving the goal isn't the main thing. It's the journey of how you get there. So enjoy part 1, me talking about my running goals. Alright, up we go. Isn't that the point of goals? It's supposed to lift us up, elevate our lives, our experiences, different things like that. And as I was turning 50, I started to think, like, what's the point of setting goals? Like, shouldn't you have arrived somewhere? And I went on this run in Cape Town, got a few friends together, and it's something that Kurt said. Let me play it for you.
No goals, they got nowhere to go. So set goals, exercise, move intentionally, not habitually, intentionally. Go out there saying, I'm going to do that movement, that run today, and that's how you move.
So that's like, he said it is super simple. The goal isn't the achievement index of, yes, I hit the goal, I didn't hit the goal. The goal is to motivate you forward, right? It's to motivate you forward. I've set goals. Actually, in Kieper Gorge, in this run that I'm doing, I've meant to do a run like this, like 3 times now, but every time I get to the point where I need to turn to do the really tough section, I'm just like, okay, I'm going straight. And I'm so happy with what I achieved on that particular day, on that run, because it was still an achievement. Huh? I was still out there, I still did things, but I just didn't do exactly the thing that I wanted to. Look at these stairs. Whoa. Where's that going? So, I don't think I can run and talk up this steep one. So having goals is something that just keeps us focused on moving forward. It keeps us focused on like the journey ahead. Like if you were driving a car, you wanted to get somewhere, like you plan a route, you ride on a particular road. It's kind of like the goal. And maybe it's, you know you want to get to a certain destination, but in between that you need to think about things like fuel, food, fuel for the car, food, speed, comfort of the ride, those kind of things. So those are what I think about in terms of goals. And so for me, I've got 3 goals that I'm working towards in 2026. They are 3 very different but all connected because they are my goals. Cheers. This weather it's making this route extra challenging. Let's get over here. Right. And those 3 goals are very simple. Let me just get through this before I fall. Wow. Oh man. Here's the route underneath. Why do I try and go on top of the route? It would be easier that side. Okay. Not exactly easier, but we are here now. We are in the mix. That was a good save. Right. Now that the forest is behind me, that was fun. Really, lots of technical sections and rocks and stuff. But yeah, so the 3 goals that I've set to myself is a running goal, a money goal, and a vanity goal. So let's talk about the running goal, because that's easy. Last year I set a goal of running 50 Ks. I achieved it very early in the year, and then I wanted to do it in a race, actually enter a race, and I did that. Trail around Wester, tough, almost everything went wrong, but I still did it. And then I took on a triathlon, and the running kind of took a dip. So this year, or at least as I got to the end of last year, I thought about more continuity. So my running goal is to run 100 kilometers by mid-year, and then to be able to run 160 kilometers by the end of the year. That way I'm giving myself 2 running goals, but with stretch capacity, whatever it is they call it. In a corporate world, in my corporate world, there's lots of these sayings. Sometimes it drives me fucking batty, but anyway, so we're gonna have stretch goals of 160 by the end of the year, both of which is a big challenge. When I trained to run 50 kilometers, it was hard to do it. It was very hard, but I ran in very exposed conditions, very hot during the day, whatever. There's a lot of stuff that went into it, and I'm going to make a more detailed video about my plan for running 100 kilometers. And part of this run here is selecting the route that I'll try it. So this is actually one of the loops that I'm thinking of doing for that 100 kilometer run that I'm going to attempt in a month or so. I'll make my first attempt. Whew. Alright, that's a running goal. So let's talk about money. But let's also keep running. And it's just beautiful. Wow. Today's route, obviously, this section here, which is through Kibbe Gorge, then into Kibbe Gorge Reserve, up this mountain, this hill. I'm not sure our elevation. I think it's a hill because over there it's the White Hut. That's our next destination, but we're going around the side here. I can't remember the name of the trail. Not up that steep section. We're going to come down that steep section and head back over that way and back to the start. But this route here, this is going to take us to Macintosh Falls. We'll talk about money. We'll talk about my money goals. Thank you so much for joining me on this adventure of speaking about my first goal, running 100 kilometers and 160 kilometers in the same year. I think it is an audacious goal. I have no idea if I'm going to get there, but I do know that I'm going to give it my best shot. I already have a few adventures of me practicing, getting up to those distances that I need, and the beautiful locations that I'm going to. So keep a lookout for some of those videos and adventures coming to this channel soon. Right, don't forget, my next part in this series are the next two goals, which is focused on money and vanity. I know you have questions. Right, tune in next time as we go through these adventures.